Hi, this is Robert McMurray again. I just got done watching the series finale of Find Me in Paris available on Hulu. What I thought of the series after watching all three seasons is I think for this type of show, 3 seasons is enough. And they left it wide open for a spin-off series, but I'll get towards that later. And this is a spoiler warning if you haven't seen the series, especially the last season of the series. So basically, let me tell you about this series. Lena Grisky is a ballet student in 1905, and basically she was getting ready to get kicked out of the school she was at because she was up for company, and another student was jealous. And basically, she'd been dating this guy named Henry behind her parents' back. Right when her mother was supposed to pick her up, Henry came and they was going to run off. They was being chased. And then all of a sudden, this necklace he gave her activated, and she ended up in present day. And basically the first season and kind of parts of the second season is her stuck in present day, while Henry most time is stuck in 1905. But there was like a few episodes where he got stuck 1 year further in the past behind her. Yeah, and it basically was it's a good show. If you haven't seen it, it's there was a love triangle between her and Henry, and her and Max. Max is another ballet student in present day. And basically, yeah, there was you wasn't sure who she was going to choose out of the two, even though it was always leaning more towards Henry. But in the second season, Max gets an injury, and then you see him in the last episode of the second season, but they basically write him off, and everything. Basically, he left a letter, stating that he couldn't stay because of his injury. But you don't know if the letter was real or not because you never saw him write it or anything. Because last time we see him, Henry vanished. Whereas we find out he goes to this right room, which is like a jail cell for time travelers. Which I'm assuming this brewer or whatever is far in the future or something close to that. Or maybe outside time itself. Just like the vanishing point in the Arrowverse, mostly Legends of Tomorrow. It was just outside of time. And, basically, before we know, he could have been deleted, he could have been also arrested, and he could still, but if he was arrested, I'm sure that if that's happened in the last episode, would have found him as a prisoner. So, I think his memories of time travel was just erased, and he was just sent to go wherever. That's my theory on the subject. But getting off the first first season and most of second season, the bad guys was these groups of 3 people called time collectors. But the third season, they're basically the good guys. But the story with them is they was trying to control time, and they was trying to get the necklace, which was her timepiece. But like I said, in the third season, 2 of the time collectors went off their own way. One just left, just left to the Jurassic period to ride dinosaurs, and the other was he found out the girl he was seeing, and most of this is basically the second season, her mind was ripe of all things time travel, including him. He just went off and we don't see or hear from him again. Probably just living his life in present day. But the boss of them, he's basically stayed mostly in the third season, stays in 1905. And in the first two seasons, only like 2 or 3 people knew that Lena Grisky was a time traveler. But in the third season, almost all the students finds out or knows. Because at the end of the second season / beginning of the third season, a group of them ended up in 1983 for a short time, where they met a younger version of the person in charge of the school they're at. But she talks about the story later on in the third season, but I don't think she remembers them or recognizes them. But it's possible she recognized them and that's not saying anything. The teacher that they had for most of the series, he was Max's father. He basically helped him out a lot of the time, and when like a few times when like 1 or 2 of the students got expelled, he fought to keep them in the school and try to figure out ways to keep them in the school, and a few times broke the rules himself. With that actor, I thought did a terrific job, and if they do ever do a spinoff series, have him in it. And basically, my idea of the spinoff series is going to be, I'm going to talk about later, because I'll be going to be missing a new character they brought in for the last season, which is basically during the last season, this new girl, younger girl, shows up. She found pictures of Lena Grisky from different time periods, and she kind of knows that Lena is a time traveler, and she's just trying to figure out proving it by following people. And one of the people, another new person in the third season, Nico, is from the Bureau that is supposed to capture the time travelers. But first, he just wanted to watch them and get as much intel as possible. But the girl I was talking about, we find out in like not too far into the third season that she's Lena's half sister. Basically, Lena's mother is from 1905, but the father is from present day. They met in the year 2000 at a party, and basically, after Lena was born, sometime after she was born, the mother took her back to 1905 to try to protect her. And firstly, the father couldn't go because they didn't think that he would adapt too easily to a 1905. He might slip up and talk about something that hasn't existed yet or is not invented yet. So, so that's why. And he basically said he'd been watching her, and ever since he found out, but he was too nervous and afraid to approach her to tell her the truth. So, so basically that's and if they do a spin-off series, I'm going to imagine it's going to be with her half-sister, because the series leaves off with her having a timepiece and causing havoc. And so basically throughout the third season, there's a battle with the head of the bureau, which is Nico's mother, and the 4 L's, which is the head time collector, Henry, Lena, and Nico. And of course, Lena is the chosen one. And they win the battle, combining the timepieces and her power and everything else. And yeah, the last episode takes place 6 months into the future. And basically, Lena is the head of the bureau. She's basically, she's still a ballerina with her friends. And she has to deal with her half sister who's causing mischief with time travel. Well, supposed to be attending the school she was attending. Which, like I said, that will be a great series if they wanted to do some type of spinoff. Because I think something like that will work. Yeah, I really got invested, especially towards the last third season. Even though the third season has a good amount of time travel, it didn't have as much as the first 2 seasons. Yeah, but if you are a fan of classical music, ballet, and time travel, and all that other good stuff, I recommend watching it. It is available on all 3 seasons. Every episode is available on Hulu. So, it's just something to binge when you don't have anything else to do. Well, all good things come to the end, and worst case scenario, if they'll do a spinoff, they could always do like a little 1 or 2 mini spinoff movies and everything. And on my bucket list is to visit like the UK and Paris one day. The one thing I did not mention about the series is one thing that is there's on the roof there's a brick with that's how they get notes from present day to 1905 and other places, and to stay in communication. I still not sure how the brick works because they never said how it works. There's no technology involved or anything. So, it's all, who knows, maybe that's a wormhole or something. But, yeah, well, this is Robert McMurray. Check out Find Me in Paris on Hulu. And until next time, keep watching my videos.